channel. Welcome to this video, which is the most, I don't know, unexpected thing that could happen within this channel. I haven't filmed any video for 6 months or more. I haven't filmed anything in particular, or I haven't committed to any video this year. However, since I do love journaling, but I do not show you guys, at least on my Instagram, shout out to the most beautiful people on earth that follow me there. I don't show you much about my reading journal, especially my media journal. I think I showed my yearly spreads at the beginning of the year in January, but I have come a long way, you know. It's not done yet. I hope it lasts until the end of the year, because I don't have more money to buy another one of these. Because this is from Archer and Olive, that amazing stationery shop that I love. And it was funny because I had to order this while one of my cousins was in the US, since the shipping fee to Chile, to my third world country, was I don't remember if it was $30 or 60, but it could be any of those, and I wasn't willing to pay that because I didn't have that money. So shall we start? Yeah, I think so. Otherwise, I'm going to keep yapping for the rest of the video. Here's my cover. I don't know if I like it so much, to be honest. I don't know. I went crazy and I just put everything that I came across at the moment. So yeah, I mentioned you that my journal isn't specifically only about books. I also log the movies and TV shows that I watch. It doesn't have much substance than that, so let's get into the index. I love indexes. Since I was a little girl, I've always done indexes in all of my school papers and all of that, because I don't know, they give me so much peace to see all the information organized. And here I put a quote that I dearly love. I've had other journals in the past, and I always make sure to put this quote because I don't know, it depicts why, or at least some of my motivations when I want or when I need to read. Because yeah, reading is a need, you know. I'm going to read it to you. Books are a form of political action. Books are reflection. Books change your mind. By the amazing Toni Morrison. If you haven't read any of her books, I do highly recommend it. In other spreads, you're going to see more quotes. So for now, let's keep moving. This is the overview. I've always loved this kind of your personal library or bookshops, and a lot of people put the names of the books they read. I've always hated that because sometimes some titles are so long that I cannot, and I get frustrated because it doesn't look nice when it's like this tiny rectangle and everything is so jumbled up. So yeah, I prefer to categorize them by kind of genre, you could say: contemporary, literary fiction or general fiction, classics, non-fiction, mystery or thriller, poetry, historical fiction, horror, fantasy or science fiction, manga or graphic novel, romance, and translated. Since many of these genres converge between each other, I have a rainbow here, and I need to color my books. I need to update this since I'm doing this video. I don't want to do any spoilers. So now here is the spread of 24 for 2024. 24 books and 24 films for 2024. Recently I watched Carol. It was good. It wasn't life-changing, but I did like it. However, I also watched 20th Century Women after that movie, and I ended up loving it so much. It was very lies of life, but those stories have something, you know. They have something within them that I always end up eating them up. Regarding the books part, I've done pretty well. I have read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 15, 16 books out of 24. I've read more than half, so it's going good. However, here on the movies, I need to catch up. I think it's because I do like watching movies by myself, but most of these I want to watch with people that I think they're going to like certain movies. So maybe at the end of the year, I'm going to do like a marathon that I'll watch every movie I have left here and that I haven't watched at that moment. So now here we have my reading goals and my book bingo. I love doing these spreads every year because I am nothing if I don't have goals. I cannot function as a normal human being. That's for me. It's okay if it's different for you, but at least I do need some kind of goal, some kind of thing that keeps me moving forward. I want to read at least 90 books, also 3 short story collections. I already read 3 poetry collections, and this is like the most important one. The next one, I want to reduce my physical TBR to a 1-digit number. What I mean by this is instead of 40 books, the number that I currently have of unread books, I want them to be at least 9 by the end of the year. I'm really hoping that I get to 2025 with less than 10 unread books. And I've been doing my homework, so the only obstacle in this is me wanting to buy more books. But that's a discussion for another moment. So also I want to, or at least try to finish the series that I am in the middle of. In the next pages, we're going to check my book series tracker. So also one of my reading goals was to read a book in one day, and I already done that. 3 classics. I think I've read 1, but I'm not sure. I have to check because maybe I've read 2, but I know that I haven't read 3 by now. And read 3 books with disability representation. Of course, I want to keep reading disability read books because I'm a disabled person myself, and that kind of representation always comes in handy. Here, my book bingo. The ones that I have left are to read Dracula. I also want to read a modern classic, and I think this one is going to be The Virgin Suicides. Maybe not. But that book is also on my 24 books for 2024. I have read a book over 500 pages, I think. I'm going to check that anyways. A 5-star prediction. I'm not a person that gives a lot of 5 stars, so I think I'm going to decide whether this prompt was accomplished or not at the end of the year. A book about books. Yeah, my favorite kind. I don't know how to decide which to read. You know, a debut novel, a book with a number in the title, a Latin author, book by a Chilean author. I have plenty of books by Chilean authors in my physical TBR, so I just have to choose a book set somewhere I'd like to visit. I do want to visit a lot of places in this world. I think I'm also going to decide whether or not I fulfilled this by the end of the year. A book with letters. I also want to read a memoir by a POC. I wanted to read What My Bones Know back in May for AAPI Heritage Month, but I read a lot of more books, so I didn't have the time. However, I do hope to read it later this year. LGBT author or character. I've read plenty of this, so I might as well just, do this. A book I thrift. I have like 3 books that I thrift this past year, so we'll see. A book set on a holiday. Probably it's going to be a Christmassy book, and a book with food on the cover. I don't think I have one of those. Let's see where it takes us. Moving on, here's my reading tracker. If I'm able to read 180 books, of course I'm more than happy, but I don't want to pressure myself. I wanted to cover the full pages for this spread in specific. I had a few mistakes over here. I don't know if you can see the correction tape. It's something that I prefer not to see, like trying to ignore it. At least, in the last row in this page. I haven't updated this, so I'm doing it right now. I'm only 4 books away from getting to normal paper again. Here I also have a quote, and And this was my reading log that I already completed. Yay! With 58 books. I haven't finished 2 of these. Maybe I'm going to DNF one of those 2. Tales, I'm reading it with my bestie, who also kind of loves the Shadowhunter Chronicles. She's more of a the Infernal Devices girly. I'm more of a the Dark Artifices, the Mortal Instruments girly. I'm so sorry, you guys. I grew up with them, you know? Those books inspired me to read more and to discover more new books. So they have a very important place in my heart. As I told you, here we have my book series tracker, and over here I have my TV series tracker and the seasons that I've watched from that specific show. There are a lot, so just let's keep going. In similar fashion, here we have my movie log, very self-explanatory like my reading log, but in this case with movies. I do have to update it, so let's do that. Moving on, here, this is something that I implemented this year, author backlist, in which I made these pockets. They're a little bit faulty, as you could see, but it works. It's functional for me. Here we have authors that I've read more than 2 books by them, and also authors that I've read, for example, only 1 book, but I want to dig deeper in their other works. I don't know which I'm going to read because there were a lot of more authors that I thought, so I have to group them by 3. I took off the Virginia Woolf one. I already read Mrs. Dalloway, To the Lighthouse, Orlando, A Room of One's Own. I read The Waves, but I read it in Spanish. I do want to reread it in English, so that's why I didn't color the circle. I know I do need to update this, but I'm not going to do that right now. Maybe because I'm kind of lazy. Okay, so here I put the covers of my favorite book of every month. Here's another quote. I do need to put the cover for my favorite book in June, which was Horror Mila. And here we have the book bracket to decide my favorite book of 2024 at the end of the year. Here's another quote. Okay, so I always try to do it a little bit different than what I see from other creators, because they usually may compete books between, I don't know, January and February, or March, April. And I don't know if I like that system because I don't think it's very accurate. So that's why I try to diversify my options to choose. That's why I don't have any semi-finalists. At the end of this month, I will be able to decide between January, April, and July. This is going to reveal itself at the end of the year. Here we have my spread for anticipated releases. I'm always very lazy with this spread in a specific because I always forget about it. It's hard to keep up with them. So that's why here in July, August, October, November, December, I have nothing basically. Here are my books bought. I have bought 20 books this year and read 5 of them. I did 2 pages for this spread. Nevertheless, my intention is not to write on this, not to have the need to write on this, because I will only maximum buy books until 21, 23. I can only buy 24 books. Maybe it's unrealistic, I know. That would be suiting, because 2024, 24 books. Here we have another quote, and here we have my physical TBR and how it's descending through the months. I do have more physical books, to be honest, but these are the ones that I wrote at the start of the year. We have a long way still. Here is the alphabet challenge. I always do this, but since last year, I added another space for another category, which is author. So now not only I write on the title, for example, if Billy Street could... Ay, ¿por qué le puse walk? This is so embarrassing. It's talk, as I was saying. If Billy Street could talk, that one starts with an I, right? But here, regarding the author, first the last name. So, for example, An Liang, because I've read 2 of her books. The most difficult ones are always the ones here, but I think it's going well. Here is my new vocab, new words I didn't understand their meaning the first time that I read them, or if I want to storage them for something else to use them myself. And here, since already this is full, here in the last pages I've been adding more of this same spread, and here I have to set the same one of, but I haven't done it honestly, and I do have a lot of new words that need to be logged, you know, but okay, that's okay. This is work in progress because this is the stats for the year, so they're going to be available in December. Here in these blank spaces I want to put some graphics. Here is for books and here is for films and maybe TV series. I've always wanted to do this, some kind of little notebook. Inside the notebook itself is my media awards. Yes, there are always book awards or something like that, but since this is a media journal, I needed to do it that way. Here we have the best standalone, duology and series, and the best characters, which was the shortest and the longest book, which made me cry the most, laugh, which made me the happiest, the angriest, and which book did you learn the most from. Here I have the worst books and films, and also the worst characters, because I'm a lover, but I'm also a hater at my core, and that's who I am. I cannot deny myself, you know. And here is for media, for visual media, best movie and the best TV series, my favorite characters, the shortest movie, longest movie, and the same of which book, but now which film. And here's a space for memorable quotes that deserve recognition. This is something that I also need to update because the second quarter is also ended, but at least I know my favorite read has been Bunny by Mona Awad. That's basically my favorite book of the year so far. No other books have been able to beat it. I have to decide this, not this specifically, because I only have to check on my other stats, but the least favorite read, I don't know, I have to think about it. And also I haven't put any quote here. There are many quotes that I'd like to put. It's the same for the 4 quarters, and here are the books by type. Here are my stats in order for me to calculate this, if the book was physical, an audiobook, or an ebook. This year I also added if it's poetry, manga, and non-fiction, since it's a genre that I don't read much of commonly. Well, I do read a lot of manga, but it's not so common as you can see. Here are other stats, very general, that need to be filled out at the end of the year. Best season, my DNF books, etc. And here we start with the month reviews, which the front pages, the calendar, and the stats TBR, everything here are very similar in every start of the month. I usually count the pages that I read every day, and here it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite quote of the month. Going over the stats, I write the number of books that I've read, the number of pages in total, my average rating, and the hours listened to if I have listened to an audiobook. Also regarding movies and films, the number of hours that I've spent watching movies, and the average rating for that as well, which is my favorite book and my least favorite book of the month. In order to, when I have to decide this, I can only check the front pages in order to make my decision. And here's my TBR. If you can see, almost every square is checked with specifically this color, a beige color, but this one is yellow because I didn't read it the month we are actually in. I kind of classify months by colors, so here mostly beige, but this one is from May. May was my yellow month, and that's something that I usually do since I don't accomplish my TBR for every month. And here the reviews start. Some of them I posted to my Goodreads, so those reviews I print them in order to put them here. Okay, Okay, so I should have done this before. I usually paint, for example, how do I feel about this book? And regarding the motion, okay, so I'm going to do it now. I was kind of surprised, so I do this. I kind of was in love. I was sad, but not very sad, to soph. I was also angry, so I'm going to put this here. And I do the same with plot, characters, writing, ending, and romance. Not every book has romance because not every book that I read has that element or subplot. For example, here in Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe, I didn't put it, if you can see it. I write the dates within I read the books, the rating, the number of pages, genres, and if they are physical, audiobook, digital, also if they are part of a series. These are shorter, but also here I have more. In January, I also read a lot of manga volumes and graphic novels, so here they are. I didn't rate all of them, so only those with stars are the ones that have like a rating also in my Goodreads and other trackers. And here's the media that I watch. Here are mostly movies, and here are the TV series. Most of them were rewatches. Only The Boy and the Heron and Booksmart were new movies to me. And then we go to February. This was my pink month, of course. I also like to mix the theme of the month regarding holidays, festivities, etc. Here we have Lily Page's log and the quote that I wanted to highlight. Here you can see we have other colors besides yellow, and I haven't read Divergent Suicides. I wanted to read it back in February, but I didn't have the full time. Also, I want to do a buddy read with one of my dearest friends on Bookstop at HaviReads_. Maybe this is the month that we finally get around it. Here are some other reviews. Here I need another quote from Felicity, but I think I'm going to reread it, so I'm waiting for that to make my final decision. Also from the 7 Years Sleep, though honestly it was only a 3 stars read for me. I thought I might as well put a quote there because I had a lot more space. Here is the same. Here's the media that I watched. Also a lot of rewatches. My favorite book of February. Then in March, here's a quote from The Letters to a Young Poet. I haven't read all of the books that I wanted to in March, so that's that. More stats, and I didn't fill out the total number here, but I did read in the last days of March, but I forgot to do it. And honestly, that's going to happen again, as you will see. I can't fight that. It's okay, I guess. This was my green month, if you can notice. Here are more reviews. As you can see, I do write reviews for every book that I read, unless they're a graphic novel or a manga volume. However, they are not particularly extensive. The books that I like more are the ones that usually take up more space. Here's the media that I watch, and here's are the new movies that I watched that month. These are the same pages as this journal, but the ones that I cut up for my little notebook. In my year stats, I try to reuse them to give them another life, if I'm allowed to say that. Here we go with April. I did read. I just forgot the numbers and then it was too late to do anything. I haven't written all the stats yet. I do have them. I think I imposed a lot of negligence to April and I have to fix that, but I hope you like this spread as well. It's very cinnamon roll themed because that's my child, you know. Around that time I got these stickers, so I wanted to use them. That's why it's like light blue, kind of dark pink color. I also use a lot of yellow ones, so it's a plethora of things. Here are my reviews. This book was such a disappointment. I don't want to talk about it. What else can I say about this? Bunny, my beloved. In April, some friends started a book club and I joined, so that's why it says Poroto Hallado book club pick. I don't know how to translate Poroto Hallado, to be honest. It could be something like pumping. These are also my children, and here's my full review. This is the media that I watched. I also watched a lot of new series and not so many movies. Okay, so, and here, as I told you, May was my yellow month, and I haven't written the stats as well, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. yeah, I don't know if I'm telling you this to convince myself or you. So, in some other news, I didn't accomplish all my TBR. Wow, that's so unexpected of me. Though maybe I'm going to read this book soon because I really like this author, Kazuo Ishiguro. Here are the first reviews. Here I have to stick the reaction faces, the how do I feel about this book template, and here as well. That's a detail, a little tiny detail. So moving on, Diary of a Void was the book club pick for Puro Tallado, and I also got into the reading room book club supervised by Erin, my lovely baby girl. And here is the many media that I consumed this month. A lot of rewatches, a lot of new movies as well. Got a lot of friends to visit, so that's why I spent a lot of time also in front of a screen enjoying other fictional lives. Here is June. As you can see, there's something missing there, and I do take accountability of it. I did read, but I just lost it, you know? I just hope July is different. I haven't decided on a book quote for now, but this is June. It was my purple month. This is nothing new as well, but I also have to fill out the stats. I don't know if because it was Pride month, but I did complete my TBR, kind of, because I started reading Magic Lessons in June, but I didn't finish, and now I'm like 30 pages left, so I think I'm going to finish it today. So that's why it's already marked. I should have done it with a different color because I did use this color for February, so spoiler alert, July is a warm tone. I had this cute coquette stickers, and I'm so glad that I could finally use them. Like, I specifically bought them to use in June. Here are some of my reviews. I need to add some things, and here are space for other 3 reviews. I have to write my review of Puro Tallado Book Club, the pick for June, which was Matilda by the amazing Mary Shelley. And as I told you, I started Magic Lessons in June, and since I read the most of it during that month, I think I'm going to write the review here. Also, because getting a little bit ahead, I read 6 graphic novels, and I did consume a lot of media as well, but I had like a page left that was, I don't know, kind of weird, and I wouldn't like to start a new month in the middle of 2 pages. I think it needs closure, you know? That's why I think I'm going to review Magic Lessons and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy here. So that with that, I need to print a lot of more covers in order to fill out these spreads. And we're getting into the end. Yesterday, I set up July. I thought of a red theme, but also making it cozy, since here, at least for the past few weeks, it's been freezing cold. I'm not a hot girl summer right now. I can't possibly be, and this isn't me complaining, okay? Because I do love cold weather. I would hate to be in summer right now, to be honest. But I needed some of warmth, and I think I'm going to read a lot of cozy, fantasy, witchy books this month. At least it's what I've been craving lately. That's why I started Magic Lessons. It's going to have a lot of fungi, and I have this cute paper. Why I wouldn't use it? You know, I set up a little bit of the following pages for the reviews, and I added some red stickers. Here's another, and that's the last one that I've done. I don't know how many books I'm going to read. I hope a lot of books because I do love reading, you know. I'm not fully sure about my TBR, so that's a lot of space that I can use. My phone died, but that's okay because we reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed me showing you my spreads, my journal spreads. I'm very excited for what's left of this year, and you can see I have a lot of more pages, so let me know in the comments if you like my journal, what is your favorite spread, or if there's something you think I can add for next year. Also let me know if you also journal, if you like to watch these kind of videos and you take inspiration as I also do. I'd also appreciate it a lot if you can leave me a like in this video. And don't forget to check it out my other socials. And yeah, that's it. I hope you had a great day. I don't know, maybe we'll see us soon. I hope soon enough. Enjoy your readings and take care. Bye bye.